What's going on, guys, and welcome to the second episode over here on Start Late, Stay Light. I thank you very much for joining us and just giving me your time today. This one comes from a question of one of my online clients, so thank you very much, Hayley, for sending this one through. And I'm probably going to get the way that she worded this incorrect, but basically the question was, does your body start to adjust to the numbers that you set it? And the numbers she's referring to are probably your macro numbers and your calorie numbers, and then stop you from losing weight. So fantastic question there, Hayley. I hope I can answer it and give you the answer that you've been looking for. And so what I want to start with is kind of when you set your calories or you set your kind of macros, or your trainer, your coach, sets them for you. And if you do want me to set what your calories were, guys, if you come across this video, leave me a comment. I'm more than happy to get back to you. I'm more than happy to give you what I would kind of calculate your macros out at. But basically what I would kind of come across is ask you a whole heap of questions that kind of are geared around where you are currently with your weight, what's your height, your body percent fat, your age, your gender, obviously, your activity levels, a whole heap of different things that I kind of take into consideration of how I then set your calories and then how I then work out what your macro breakdown is. And I set them based on where you are now, but also where you're kind of aiming for. And so if you're trying to lose yourself 10 kilos, or you're trying to lose yourself 20 kilos, you're trying to lose yourself 50 kilos, I keep that in mind and kind of bring my calorie count for you and your macro count based on that. Now, will your body start to adjust to that? There's going to be a point where I guess your weight will start to plateau out. And a plateau would be any time where you've had 2 weeks where you haven't had any reduction in any of your measurements, and I always take chest, belly button, and hips, or your hips being around the widest point of your bum. If you've had no adjustment in them over 2 weeks and had no weight loss at all as well in 2 weeks, then I would say you've hit a plateau. And a plateau has only come about because your calories are now set at what your maintenance level would be. So if you came to me and said, Adam, I don't want to lose any weight, I just want you to set my macros to where I should be eating now just to maintain my weight, we set a maintenance level. And so when you start at, let's say, 100 kilos and you're trying to reduce yourself down to 80 kilos, we'd obviously set your calories based on that. Now, you might get to 80 kilos, you might even kind of get to, let's say, 85, and then for a few weeks it just plateaus out and nothing happens. So what that would then indicate to me is that we've hit your maintenance calorie levels, and we've now got 2 options to go for. We can either increase your output, so we can just throw in some cardiovascular training, another session in the gym, or we can reduce your calories even further. So if you're someone who's a small girl and you're already on quite a low set of calories now, so you might be on 1,500 calories as it is, it's going to be quite difficult for me now to take away food from that. If you're really strict on your food and 1,500 calories has been fine and you go to me, yep, Adam, no worries, I can drop another 200, 250 calories off that, cool, we'll drop it down to 1,350, 1,300 calories. But most people are going to turn around at 1,500 calories and normally tell me, I've been pretty strict and it's been pretty difficult at 1,500 as it is. So for you to drop that even further, I'm not going to cope. So what we do is we push your calorie expenditure by a couple of hundred calories a day. So if I can get you to go for a walk for 20, 30 minutes each day, or go for an extra session a week, that's going to boost your overall week output by maybe 500, 600 calories, we can then start to adjust that up, and you should start to see some weight come off. So in answer to the question there, will the numbers that you have, will your body get used to that and kind of then stop you losing weight? Yes, is the kind of initial answer I would give to that. But usually it's going to be quite a way down the line. It's not going to happen just in a kind of 5-week, 10-week period even. It's probably going to be a little while after that. If we've gotten your numbers completely wrong, then it might happen a little bit quicker and we'd start managing your calorie input from there or your energy output from there. But I tend to find that when I set my numbers for my clients, that people aren't quite honest with me and they say, Adam, I've been hitting your numbers spot on and I'm just not kind of losing any more weight anymore. And when we dive a little bit deeper, it's like, well, hang on, actually, I did have some cheese and crackers and a glass of wine with friends on that night and I know that wasn't in my program, or I had a couple of chocolates and I know I probably shouldn't have had that. So when we dive a little bit deeper, it's usually people have been cheating on their program. But if you have been absolutely to the T and you haven't seen any reduction for 2 weeks in either your measurements or your weight, then yes, it's definitely time to adjust those calories and kind of rework your macros depending on if you have gained some lean muscle mass or if your body percent fat's come down, and obviously we'd work into them. You might now be a bit higher on your exercise output, so we can adjust from there. But certainly those numbers will start to, slow down as we start to approach your goal weight. And as I said, if you've got patience and you're not kind of like it's a 10-week kind of program, I need to get to the best thing I can in 10 weeks, then we can certainly readjust that up. But a little bit of patience and just kind of just playing it out and looking at the long-term game and saying, well, this is something I'm going to do for the rest of my life. So if it's slowing down a bit now and I just got to be a bit patient for the next couple of weeks, even couple of months where my body starts to adjust in, and we can kind of just trial and error, just try and adjust up, adjust down, add a bit of exercise, take a bit away, add a bit of weight training, add a bit of cardiovascular training, whatever it might be. I think you should always take a look at that kind of long-term approach, unless, I guess, as I said, you're getting ready for a competition on stage, or you're an athlete and you've got to kind of cut to a certain weight to make weight for a boxing fight, a row that might be coming up, whatever it might be, then we can certainly kind of go a bit more hardcore on there. So I hope that answers your question, Haley. Hope this has brought you value tonight, guys. Thanks again for joining us, and remember, start late, stay light, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot, guys.